On News Prime tonight, Senate passes bill for mandatory citizen registration. On business news, reps propose Nigerian citizenship for major foreign investors. On the foreign scene, Hamas claims spokesman killed in Israeli strike on Gaza. And the sport tonight, under 20 AFCON, Ever Eagles uncertain has the Ivory Coast pulls out of hosting. Hello and welcome to News Prime on Global Television, live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Adikan Michael. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, and StarTimes, channel 276, free to air. Mike Amsat. You can also download the Global TV and our John mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. In a bid to reduce excessive salt consumption and curb the hypertension and the cardiovascular diseases, the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare has launched a national guideline for sodium reduction.
Federal Ministry of Health
our health correspondent Queen has the details.
Social Welfare has taken a significant step towards promoting public health with the launch of the National Guideline for Sodium Reduction. The guideline sets mandatory sodium limits in processed foods and promotes public education campaigns to raise awareness about the risks associated with excessive sodium consumption. The Honorable Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isiaq Adekunle Salako, unveiled the guideline, emphasizing its significance in addressing the rising burden of non-communicable diseases in Nigeria, while urging the food industry to embrace reformulation and reduce sodium content in processed and packaged foods.
Today also marks another significant milestone as we not only launch the sodium reduction guideline, but also unveil the national guideline for food handlers' medical tests. This guideline is a critical step in ensuring the health and safety of food supply chain by unifying and ensuring regular medical examinations are conducted for food handlers. Together, these guidelines form a cohesive framework that directly supports the implementation of the National Policy on Food Safety and Quality and its Implementation Plan 2023.
Emphasizing Nigeria's commitment to reducing non-communicable diseases associated with excessive sodium intake, DG NAFDAC Professor Mojisola Adeyeye says the World Health Organization recommends reducing sodium intake to less than 5 grams of salt or 2 grams of sodium per day.
The World Health Organization has consistently emphasized the need for sodium reduction as a cost-effective strategy for improving public health outcomes. In line with this, the federal government of Nigeria, through the collaborative effort of the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, NAFDAC, and other MDAs and stakeholders have developed this national guideline as a strategic framework to guide policy implementation, industry reformulation, and public awareness on sodium intake reduction.
Commending the initiative, the Executive Director, CAPA, Akimbode Oluwafemi, says the launch marks another major milestone in safeguarding public health in Nigeria.
Public health through the promotion of healthy diets. And we strongly believe that the effective implementation of the national guideline on sodium reduction in Nigeria will help in no small measure in reducing excessive sodium intake among the populace and thereby reduce cases of cardiovascular diseases and non-communicable diseases in Nigeria.
The launch of the guideline is expected to have a positive impact on the health and well-being of Nigerians and to contribute to the achievement of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. For Global Television, Queen Agaba reporting.
As Muslims all over the world prepares for the year's Eid celebration, many in Nigeria are facing doubting challenges worsened by high costs of transportation. From Kano State, Global TV correspondent Idris Jibril takes a look at how people are struggling to visit their loved ones. covering that.
Usually marked by communal prayers and family gatherings, this religious festival is now threatened by the reality of financial difficulties for many families across the country. Ibrahim Ahmad is a factory worker in Kano, traveling to Maiduguri to spend Salah with his family at the cost of 25,000 naira. He and other travelers had to cut down their spendings to cover the cost of transportation.
You see, we have to thank God for seeing the beginning and the end of this Ramadan. But things are very tough. You can see I'm traveling to Maiduguri, but the transportation is highly disturbing. But we have no choice. We have to reduce our spendings.
Removal of petroleum subsidy by the government has continued to increase transportation costs at an alarming rate.
Now, you see, before now, travelers will be coming here queuing for a seat. But today, they don't come. And instead of coming to travel, most people prepare to come here and send message to their loved ones, because the transportation is so high that so many people cannot afford to travel to their respective destination to celebrate Salah with their families.
Commuters say the economic challenges faced by many Muslims during this important period are numerous. But the high cost of transportation fee is particularly disturbing.
The transportation, this thing for Nigeria, the transportation is too much. They're supposed to reduce the transportation for us because something hurts now. Some they want travel, but they don't get the money. That's why. Even us now, we want travel, we don't get the money.
By implications, many individuals in Kano are now forced to decide between celebrating the Eid with their loved ones and meeting their basic needs. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
Former President of the Senate, Senator Ahmed Lawan, has donated 27 million naira and 300 bags of rice to the victims of the fire outbreaks in the 3 local government areas of Yobe State. Lawan noted that the unfortunate incident have caused significant losses and hardship, and that his thoughts and prayers are with those impacted during those difficult times. According to him, the assistance is aimed at a complementing effort by the Yobe State government to provide immediate relief to the affected families and help them recover from the devastating impacts of the fire outbreaks. President Tinubu has approved the appointment of new members of the Governing Council of the Nigeria Content Development and Monitoring Board. The appointment was disclosed by Tinubu's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga. Onanuga says Tinubu, in his efforts to reinforce the NCDMB's capacity to grow local content in the oil and gas sector, approved the appointment of 4 members of the board. In the National Assembly, the Nigerian Senate has passed a bill mandating the compulsory registration of citizens aiming to overhaul Nigeria's identity management system through the repeal and reenactment of the National Identity Management Commission Act. The passage followed the submission and consideration of a report by the Committee on National Identity Card and Population chaired by Senator Victor Ume, representing Anambra Central District. Kikal Mukere has the details.
The senator representing Anambra Central, Senator Victor Ume, explained that the legislation seeks to establish a harmonized, cost-effective identity system that aligns with global best practices, enhancing data accuracy and closes existing gap in Nigeria's identity database.
Strengthen the legal framework of national and digital identity, thereby creating an optimal foundational identification ecosystem that fosters inclusion, universal coverage, and accessibility. Establish a harmonious foundational identity system that is governed by a less restrictive, less cumbersome, non-discriminatory, non-punitive data protection, cost-effective, and compliance with global best practices.
I pray that this bill will ensure that we have proper record and proper data to plan not just for the current generation, but for future generations of Nigerians. Thank you.
Once signed into law, the bill also provides for the creation of centralized database and a commission responsible for registering citizens and issuing identity cards. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
And also from the National Assembly of Nigerian Senate, they led a motion to immortalize late Professor Humphrey Nwosu, former NEC chairman, on the procedural grounds during its March 26, 2025 session. The motion, sponsored by Enia Baribe, Senator representing Abia South, sought to recognize Nwosu for overseeing the June 12, 1993 presidential election, widely regarded as one of the Nigeria's fairest polls. Ramsey Noble has the details.
The senator representing Abia South, Enyinaya Abaribe, rose under Order 41 and 51, which border on personal explanation to draw the attention of the chamber to the need to immortalize the late INEC boss.
That the courageous defense of democratic electoral process during the 1993 presidential election led to the famous June 12 slogan, which ultimately confirmed Alhaji MKO Abiola as the winner. It's okay.
The development was contrary to the provision of the Senate Standing Order, as the Senate's leader, Senator Bamidele Opeyemi, contended that the order raised by Abaribe was inappropriate and that the plenary had gone beyond the privilege Abaribe would have enjoyed to make senators consider it.
If the Senate are taking a position on a matter, if you still want to insist on bringing it back, you have to come by way of substantive motion. The next legislative day at whatever time, by way of substantive motion for rescission of decision.
Earlier, the deputy president of the Senate declared the point of order as controversial and expressed skepticism of its approval by allowing Abaribe to speak to the order.
I'll walk in line with whatever you decide. Of course, it's a bit controversial. Some see him as someone who truncated June 12. Some see him as a hero of June 12. So it's up to you. We'll put the question. Those in favor that this motion should go through, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The nays have it.
Reacting to the Senate leader's submission, Senator representing Kebbi North, Yahaya Abdullahi, insisted that Abaribe should be allowed to speak on the matter despite not getting the order correct. Abaribe insisted that the motion to immortalize the late Nwosu wasn't a controversial one as posited by the deputy president of the Senate.
If the Senate leader says that it doesn't follow, by the fact that a senator wants to make a personal explanation, you must give that senator a chance to make that personal explanation. We are not under a dictatorship, Mr. President. That is why I'm using 1B to come.
The deputy president of the Senate, however, advised Abaribe to reintroduce the motion at the next legislative session. Jibrin upheld Bamidele's position and ruled that the Senate should proceed with its agenda.
Against tomorrow, bring it to the rules and business, and then we'll look at it again. Your point of order is upheld.
Beyond the Senate motion, groups like the Coalition for Immortalization of Professor Humphrey Nwosu, former INEC chairman Professor Atahiru Jega, and current INEC chairman Mahmoud Yakubu have urged national honors, that is GCON, CFR, and renaming INEC's headquarters after him. Ramsey Enoch reporting for Global Television News.
The Benue State Executive Council has given its approval for the domestication of counter-trafficking in persons law to prosecute perpetrators of the crime. All this forms part of the editions reached at the 5th edition of Council meeting. Felix Indara reports from Benue State.
At the briefing of newsmen after the Executive Council meeting, Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism Matthew Abu explained that Benue State has continued to record high incidence of human trafficking and related crimes, thereby promoting the decision of the Council to domesticate legal system, making it an enforceable law in Benue to reverse the ugly trend.
And when this law is finally taken to the House of Assembly for approval, and when the Assembly gives its final approval, then the offenders of this law will now he asks to face the wrath of the law.
Another decision by the Council is the approval for the recapitalization of the Benue Investment and Property Company to increase its capital base for optimal and effective operation to boost the state economy. He further explained that the amount will be dashed to the company in 4 tranches.
The ESCO also applauded the initiative of Galaxy Backbone, and so the state is willing to partner with Galaxy Backbone in times of ICT.
Abu also detailed reports on the security situations in Boruku, Ohimini, Ukum, Sankara and Kwandi, and also the kidnapped victim along the Lafia-Makuju Road who was later released. The council has also sent a delegation led by the Deputy Governor Sam Odi for the flag off of the Buruku Boku and Maladu Water Works by the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation. In Makudi, Felicity Ndere, Global TV News.
You're still watching the live broadcast of News Prime. When News Prime returns, Finance Minister, EU Ambassador discuss £1.3 billion investment, economic reforms in Nigeria. We'll have those details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back now to Business News. Nigeria's farmer header crisis has reached alarming proportions, leading to over 2.2 million people displaced, heightened food insecurity and a worsening security situation across the country. That is according to a new report by SMBM Intelligence. Report reveals that the crisis has had a severe impact on Nigeria's agricultural sector, particularly in the Middle Belt, the nation's primary food producing region. Major oil marketers under the edges of the Major Energy Association of Nigeria have revealed that the landing cost of imported petrol has increased by 88 naira per litre in 1 week amid reports of an increase in the importation of the commodity. According to report of NEMA confirming its daily energy bulletin, the increase was from 797 naira per litre last week to 885 naira per litre this week, a situation it argues is expected in the deregulated environment. The new landing cost is 25 naira higher than the 860 naira that end user customers pay for Dangote petrol from the Mrs. and other partners and the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited retail outlets. On the first scene, the United States has condemned the killing of a Cameroonian soldier serving in the multinational joint task force in Nigeria's Lake Chad Basin. In a statement by the U.S. Embassy in Yaoundé, expressed condolences to the Cameroons, describing the attack as a heinous act of terrorism. Hamas says an Israeli airstrike killed one of its official spokesmen in Gaza, the latest high-ranking operatives targeted since Israel resumed its bombardment. A group in a statement mourned the loss of Abdul Latif, who was killed in what it called a direct strike on a tent that he was in the Jabalia area of the northern Gaza. A fragile ceasefire that brought weeks of relative calm to Gaza ended on March 18, with Israel resuming its bombing campaign across the territory. And now wrapping up the news with sport news, Nigeria Women Football League champions Ado Queens defeated host Abia Angels 2-1 at the Omoya Township Stadium. Ado Queens winger Hojigo Gana scored the opening goal in the 35th minute through the penalty kick. The host team came back stronger into the games, but the defending champions banked on experience to ward off the Angels' attack. And more on sport, Nigeria's Flying Eagles have been thrown into uncertainty after the shocking withdrawal of Ivory Coast as host of the 2025 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations just 30 days before the tournament schedule kicked off. Additions announced by the Ivorian Football Federation has sent shockwaves through African football, leaving the Confederation of African Football scrambling to find an alternative venue for the continental showpiece. Now, Ivory Coast, which was only confirmed as host in December 2024, has secured its place in the tournament after the initials. And that's a package here on News Prime tonight, coming to you live from the nation's capital. But before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories. We told you earlier that the Nigerian Senate has passed a bill mandating the compulsory registration of citizens, aiming to overhaul Nigeria's identity management system through the repeal and reenactment of the National Identity Management Commission Act. On the business, the bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to include citizenship by investment as one of the classes of citizenship in Nigeria scaled to second reading at the Houses of Representatives. Unfortunately, we told you Hamas says an Israeli airstrike killed one of its official spokesmen in Gaza, the latest high-ranking operatives targeted since Israel resumed its bombardment. Out of sports, Nigeria's Flying Eagles have been thrown into uncertainty after shocking withdrawal of Ivory Coast as host of the 2025 Under-20 African Cup of Nations just 30 days before the tournament schedule kicked off. And that's a package. You can follow us on social media platform at Global TV NG. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of the broadcast. I am Adikad Michael. Many thanks for watching and stay with us here on News Prime tonight. See you again.